What's going on, you guys? Happy New Year. Hope your year is off to a good start. Just wanted to hit you with a December review, as well as just go over my overall results for 2020. 2020 definitely was an interesting year because I started the year going into it thinking that I was going to be mad successful because I started the first week of January. I was pretty much coming off studying a lot of warrior trading style, chasing breakouts and gappers, and I had finally started to figure it out. And I had like my first big trade over $400. I think it must have been like around almost 600 Canadian. And after that, I was taking huge size, like a couple thousand shares, and then after that, I'm like, this is gonna be a crazy year. This is back January 2020. I'm like, this is gonna be a crazy year. I'm already anticipating when I'm gonna buy and how things are gonna go. Like I'm gonna be balling by summer. And then the first few weeks of January, I never made 600 again. I did make a couple hundred here and there, and then one day I just got completely wrecked, lost a couple thousand, and then from then on, I went through months just down in the red. So I reached a point, pretty much halfway through the year where I was at my worst. I was down 15K US dollars, and in Canada that's I think about 19 grand. So nearly 20 grand. And it was really rough. And then so at this point I'm like, you know what, instead of trying to go figure these things trying to figure things out for myself online, just trying to scramble and find free material, reach out to people who were selling the courses, people who had taken the courses and then they were selling, because I was too prideful, I had too much ego to want to fork up the cash to actually go into like a guru course. And then eventually I finally caved because I was watching Tim Sykes for a while since like 2019. Finally jumped into his course, and then I pretty much had to reset and get the ball rolling from there. From June all the way to the end of the year, I pretty much had to reset. Starting with July, I had to be okay with making $20 a day, just staying green, and finishing the month break even. So I was able to do that, and first I started with making $600. Then the month after, nearly $1,000. Then I was making $1,000 a month. Then I was making $2,000 a month. And after that, I made $4,000. Then by November, I was making more than my monthly salary. And then to end the year off, I had my best month ever. Really happy. I had my first 5-figure month. I made 10K. That's in Canadian dollars. So I guess it's unofficial if you put that into US dollars. That's about 8K, I believe, or almost 8K. But anyways, really, really excited to see that the ball has finally got rolling in my favor. And before, I used to have months where I was losing a couple grand, and now I'm having months that are bigger than my worst months. I think my worst month I lost like probably almost 5K Canadian. And it feels good to be not only do that, but not have it be consistently profitable. So in December, like, I was averaging 400 a day, and 400 is what you need to make 6 figures in a year. A lot of mistakes were definitely made. So you saw the video I put up where I had been really stubborn. I didn't recycle shares. I was holding it till it went all the way down, and I almost lost everything at that point that I made up to the month on that point of the month. So I almost would have been like a 6-7K loser, and I got literally saved when the QQQ just bounced from, I think, Tesla joining the S&P 500. But other than that, I've been pretty consistent, and it's very interesting to see the contrast between January and December, where January I was slinging like 5,000, 4,000 shares max account size. Now I have about over 20K in my account, and for trades I'm usually using at most 5K. And with the options, unless I have to recycle on the way down, even with the options, I've been toning it down a bit just to control for risk. So I'm very happy with that. Very happy. I'm hoping this year, 2021, is gonna be a big year. The momentum hasn't died. It's been going crazy, and I want to definitely make this a 6-figure year. I'm not gonna force it. I had a crazy green streak that was from November all the way to Friday, the most recent Friday. That was my first red day in like 30 days. I made 14K in a 30-day trading period from end of November. So we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not gonna force it because right now I am in a bit of a rut. You know, Bitcoin just going crazy, and I took put options, and I did not expect to just keep going. So I'm probably gonna take a loss next week. Nothing that's gonna destroy my account because I didn't just go hardcore with puts, but I'll probably be taking like a 1K loss or whatever. So other than that, though, I'm looking forward to starting another green streak, and I'm looking forward to actually scaling up, sizing up properly. That being said, nothing is perfect. In trading, nothing ever is perfect, and I keep saying this since August, and it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm still having problems with bag holding. And I notice that it's worse now because this market rewards bag holders. So if you might buy, let's say you chase the breakout, it pulls back hard on you. A couple days later, usually the stock could come back up. Like the markets just keep, as Mark Crook puts it, the markets just keep melting up. So that has been resulting in me just chasing breakouts when I know I shouldn't be. I'm not using big size, but still, sometimes having that waste of capital, like let's say, for example, I had one trade that you'll see with Fubo where I jumped in for a red to green move, and I've only went 50 shares, but that was still $1,700, which is out of a 20K account. Like I could be using that for better positions, and like it's just wasting my capital. Wasting my maintenance margin with Interactive Brokers. It's money that could be used to contribute to my savings, to help pay my credit card bills. And what I found actually is that the bag holds progressively get worse. Like at one point in August or September, I think I had like 4 or 5K in bag holds. And every month that went up by about 1,000 each month, up to 10 grand in unrealized. Just from a combination of bag holds. Some of them are current positions I'm actually swinging, but most are from bag holds. And what I've noticed is the more my account grows, the more I have these crummy positions where it's like I'm too prideful to take the loss. And recently now it's like it's really costing me because now I have to scale out slowly because it's like I don't want to take the loss all at once and see that mess with my conscience. Like let's say I had 400 shares of a stock that I got at $4 in it, and I should have cut it $3.75, but I didn't. Now it's all the way at $3, and so now I'm scaling out 25 shares a day because I don't want to take a $400 loss, have it mess with me, have to see that in that red day and realize profits and have it affect my performance. So I scale out slowly. That's just what I've been doing. But again, even that starts to catch up because the more positions I have, now I have to scale out of all these positions at once every day, and that can easily add up. So I think right now with what happened with the Mara, the Bitcoin puts that I know is going to end up screwing me up next week, like I'm going to put my foot down this weekend and really hammer in just the strategies that work best for me, which has been dip buying and refining my high of day breakouts, especially on OTCs, and options, and just going with that and scaling up in the plate. Like the biggest problem too is that my performance, even though I'm happy with 10K, it could have been way better. Like there were so many dip buys that I did not size in when I know that I should have. Like they were like gimme setups, and I just did not react accordingly. Nonetheless, we're taking it day at a time. So we're just starting off the year. I'm always keeping the big picture in mind. I'm trying to be a 6-figure trader. I'm trying to level up. So in order to do that, I have to be consistently improving myself. So, from here, 10K, maybe going up to 20K, not forcing it, but just keeping that in mind, like where I'm at and how far I could really take this. It's crazy. It's been a hell of a year. We had a crazy bull market. Unfortunately, I underperformed compared to a lot of people who had record years. But I'm not harping on that. I'm not being upset over it. What I found, what really helped me come back from being over 20K down, was actually just completely forgetting about that. And just when I reset, what I did when I reset is that whenever I looked at my profits on TraderView, I would just look from July, the time that I reset, so I could see how the profits were going up, how the P&L line was going up, and that gave me more confidence. Sometimes I'd look back at the January to whatever point it was after halfway through the year, like whether it was September, October, just to see, let's see big picture where I'm at on the year now. But mostly to keep my confidence going, I just looked at when I actually started getting profitable, and that's helped a lot. So I'm going to mainly go through my trades for December, and then after that wrap up with a big picture overview of 2020, just so you could see the progress and the difference in starting back small and also being a part of the Tim Sykes program. Hope you enjoy, and I hope that you had a good year. And if you didn't, just stick it out, because this does get better if you stay disciplined and stay focused, and never lose sight this is a long-term game. All right, so here are the results for December. As I was saying in the introduction, 8,500 US dollars, which amounts to 10,800 Canadian, but it wasn't actually that high. It was like, I think 10,400, because what TraderView does is it includes only trades that the entry was in December. So if I had taken an entry earlier in the year, it wouldn't include that. Same with, I think, exits. Like, well, actually no, same with exits. So if I exited in January, even though I ended up realizing the gain in January, it's going to include it in my December trades. So 89% win rate, 10% losing trades. I have to say that this is due to me bag holding and refusing to eat up some of the losses when I just take stupid trades. So it's not an accurate reflection of my actual performance, considering the number of bag holds I accumulated in the month. Nonetheless, my largest gain was 1,000, and my largest loss was 764. So that's a positive thing. It was also my first 4-figure trade of the year, making 1,000 in a single trade. The reason that actually ended up happening was because I had also had a pretty bad trade on that day too. Dip buying the QQQ, of course, being early. Yeah, having the first dip fail, and also just holding on and waiting for it to kind of explode up when I probably should have cut more size at VWAP. Nonetheless, I was able to bounce back. So even though I had that 764 loss, after these 3 losses, like the 764, it's 200. A lot of them are really small. Like a lot of them under 100. Most of them, the rest of them are under 100. But again, that's due to the bag holds. So I just gotta be honest. And the bag holds I accumulated were Fubo, the end of December, Fannie Mae. Stupid, I just chased the multi-day breakout, and then when they just completely rejected, I did not cut. And I think they have offering probably some type of news event or something that made it gap down. I think it was like a bad news event or something, but yeah, gap down, and now it like faded off pretty hard. So I have 200 shares in that, so I definitely gotta get rid of that. This one, SEGI, this was also dumb. Jack had alerted this in the chat. It was like breaking out this little consolidation, and it broke out of it temporarily, and I was up a bit, but I expected it to go further, and then didn't take any gain. Or no, I barely took any gains, actually. It took a little bit. And now it's like I had multiple chances to sell off when it was coming back up to that area, but I didn't. Now I gotta cut for a penny down on over about 20. I think I have 20,000 shares left around there, so that's like $200. This too, like, I'm just showing you all these horrible decisions I make and why you shouldn't bag hold. This was breaking out, and I had bought it. Because it was breaking out here, and then it pulled back, and it was breaking out again, and then that pretty much double topped. It failed, fell apart, ended up all the way back here, and obviously, due to my ego, my pride, I did not cut it. And now I'm dealing with that, scaling out that little bit at a time. But yeah, this is what happens when you refuse to cut, and then you pay the price later on. And it's like, I don't want to swallow that loss all at once, because I know what seeing that effect on my P&L is just gonna affect me negatively, even though it's gonna be worse in the long term. Because once let's say I scale out 10 shares at a time, by the time you add that up, like on a 100% share position, I'm taking over 300 loss. But yeah, in terms of actual my best trades, a lot of options, dip buys, it's pretty much the same thing in my last videos, playing options and playing the dip, capitalizing on that. There were some nice dips in December with QQQ. Like I was undershooting them. I should at least keep at least a few contracts to let it run, but I'm a really scout based trader in short term. Even though I do swing, but the only times I really swing is when I have to, is when I'm bag holding. At the same time, sometimes I am comfortable with swinging, but not with like bigger size, especially not with options. It really depends. So a lot of dip buys. We had a nice red to green move that Mark had alerted in the chat. This was nice. This red to green I was confident taking though, because it had dumped so hard, so it was definitely due for a bounce on LAZR. Look how far it fell. So that was a nice play there. So really focusing on my bread and butter plays. And then if you look at the bag holds, a lot of my bag holds aren't bread and butter plays. Like Fubo red to green move, yes, I sometimes make money on it, but it's still chasing, and it still is not something that has proven success rate, and it's not making me a bulk of my profits. Breakout, high day breakout, I'd say it's a decent portion of my profits, but at the same time I need to work on my high day breakouts. I need to work on my entries, not just chasing the top with big size, and looking at the bigger picture and looking for key areas of support to add to get the lowest price I can, so that I could really sell into the pops. One thing I also want to bring up back to the bag holding thing. So my second worst loss in a month was CLPS, and that was like a garbage one-day spiker that it was coming down, and I thought it would be like a Gavin crap pattern. Gavin crap is a pattern that Roland Wolf likes to use, and I was gonna go for that, and then it just kept fading off, and I just was too stubborn to cut. And I got it at 372. I didn't want to cut at like I think 330s, 320s, and I just ended up going all the way to low threes. And then every day I was taking out like 25 shares. To the last couple of days was like 10 shares, and eventually it did come back up. If I had held with my entry at 373 and held it when I came back up, spiked here in the pre-market, it was all the way out into fours, I would have made about $100 US on that. But it's like, why wait and waste my capital for all that time, especially like when a lot of my other bag holds, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, there's nothing really special to talk about for December, so let's look at the more interesting stuff. Overview of 2020. So overview 2020, wow, I was getting roughed up. My worst trades, and the thing is, the thing that you know that you're improving is that when I look at my worst trades, my worst trade and this is probably like my worst trade in my career, or no, second worst trade in my career. This is the worst trade of 2020 was January, then June, May, January, like all these big losses. A lot of them from like my top 5 worst trades are from before I really had to reset and like hammer in like the discipline and learning the right strategies. And then the times where I did take big losses were later in the year, were following when I was on big I had big green weeks, so I was in a better position than I was at that time. It was still sucked, but I'm getting better at dealing with bigger losses. And like, for example, like the dip buy fails from December, like those ones I'm always pretty good at recovering, because I end up recycling shares down, or I just end up cutting and then just finding the bottom and nailing that. If you look at my my calendar results, wow, so January, this is when I thought that at the beginning, this one I thought that I was really gonna make like bank. So as I said in the introduction, like had that one big trade, and I was taking 4,000 shares. So most large portion of my account is probably like 12, 13 grand on a 15K account. And like when I look back at this, I'm like, holy shit, I took that much entering here. My entry was the break of the previous day's highs, but look how extended that was. Like, oh my goodness, like with that size, how look how dangerous that is. No risk management. Like, I went in for this piece, and look how far it could have fell back down. Unbelievable. And I was continuing this, and the thing is, with this type of play, I was so scared because his size was so big too. Like it made me so nervous. Like it made me like inside, like I was like felt like my temperature going up just from taking this size. Like, cause I knew like the pressure of like what could happen if things go wrong. I could only stay in there for like a minute, less than a minute. Oh my goodness. And that's why here, after that $400 trade, these next ones were so bad because I'd take 5,000 shares. And look at that. The best exit, I could have made 3,400 on this. 2.1% effectiveness. I was just so damn nervous that I'd enter here because I had 5,000 shares. I'm worried about it dropping on me. I would sell so early. I'd take 5,000. I'd sell when I was like a couple cents up. I'd sell in a couple minutes because how am I supposed to hold 5,000 and feel comfortable? Like, still like, I hadn't had a full year of experience yet at this point. Same thing here. Except here I'm just completely chasing. And I'm getting rewarded because there's so much good momentum with some of these spikers in January. But I couldn't even tolerate this pullback because of the size. 2,500 shares. I had pretty much went from like a couple hundred shares when I was practicing during December of 2019 to a couple thousand. Like this was a huge jump. And then it all kind of fell apart on this day. This day kind of changed the whole trajectory of my trading for the year. Like first it started with trying to take this high again, just doing basic shit, higher day breakouts on these garbage like 1-day spikers. Thing ended up going up, but it's like I don't know how to deal with this. Like I just lost 600 because it failed. Like I didn't know about re-entry or anything. Like I was, wow. Like just looking back, it's like, damn, what was I thinking? And then that just snowballed, got worse and worse. Like I tried to make that back, chasing another high day breakout. Like like you could see that I clearly was trading like a complete newbie at this time. Like how far my entries were. And the thing is, I still do entries like this, like maybe quite frequently. But the thing is, now when I do chase entries like this, it's like a couple hundred shares max, not 2,500 shares. Literally 10% of the size I'm taking. Like wow, I'm really chasing like, and I was doing this for months, just trying to hack at it because I thought this is the way to go. It just seemed like the easiest, simplest way. Boy, was I wrong. And this continued. This continued for a couple months. Actually, so this whole red streak here was after I had shorted. I shorted a stock. I think I had used up a lot of my capital with the short that I was expecting to work out for me. And this just gave me a lot of headaches because I was getting squeezed and I was just getting greedy. I wasn't taking profits. Like, this is the next story and stuff that I'm going to make a video on. But I ended up tying up my capital, so I spent a couple weeks just not even trading nothing. I think I was just studying, like looking at plays. And then May 18th is when I finally decided to get down and just throw the pride away and say, look, I need some fucking help. And I got into Tim Sykes' program. And then you see I go on this like crazy green streak, but the thing is I'm just taking these shorts and I'm just shorting the highest of days and just capitalizing on the pullbacks. So I'm picking up more bad habits, and really it wasn't until mid-year where I found the consistency. And you could see in the calendars, the red days, July, where it's like things finally changing, but the money isn't there yet, but the the results are starting to show. Then September, like, you're seeing more hundreds, 50s. Then this week I just blew shit out the water. Then I ended up giving back a lot of it the week after. But then October, like, I remember I used to, like, 2019, like, I used to dream, like, man, all I want is to make 100 a day. Like, that's all I want. So it was so hard. And then I was able to make 100 a day. Then by November I was making like 300 a day. This is in Canadian, 300 a day Canadian. So maybe like 200 to 250 US dollars. And then finally culminating in my most successful month, December, just going crazy. Obviously, some of these days probably should have been red if I had sold the bag holds, like, or in this one where I just got completely lucky. And then, but still, you could see the consistency in the numbers, and the strategy that it's working. Like, the thing is, yes, I have the bag holds for making dumb decisions, but most of my trades that are successful are following a certain strategy. So it's not like I'm just kind of throwing darts at the board. It's the problem is that I make money with the proven strategy, and then because I make the money, I have more money now, and then I take some of that money and just throw it into crappy decisions. So I ended up netting on the year 3,600, and this is after mid-year I was down 14K, almost 18 grand. So to end the year up 30K means I was really hauling ass the last half of the year, especially since July and August I wasn't barely making much because I had to reset and kind of rebuild again. This is the biggest thing that I wanted to point you at. You can see where I had started going up. I was almost up a grand. I'm like, holy shit, this thing's about to go crazy. Then I just free fell, like, to rock bottom, and I really grinded my ass from July all the way to September. And then I start going up, then I get pulled back down, start going up, pull back down. But then at certain points, like, all right, I have the inner workings of this figured out. Let's go time. And, like, that's how a lot of traders charts is. Like, who've experienced this, like, pain of losing this much money. Like, you reach this bottom and then you struggle to get out, but then once you get out, like, it's like a compound effect. Because now you know what to do, and you can scale up properly, and you can throw more money at proper decisions instead of throwing more money at bad decisions. But I'm amped for 2021. I'm actually coming off a red day today, but I'm completely happy. I'm happy with my performance today. I actually had the second worst trade in my career today, and I managed to make the overall day marginal loss in terms of my daily gains. And let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you watch my videos, if you're a Tim Sykes student as well, and if you had a great year. I'm sure a lot of people had, fantastic years. 2020 was fucking insane. Like, but if you're a beginner, let me know, like, the issues you had as well. Like, let's talk about the realities of trading, not just the wins all the time. So take it easy. Be back soon. Have a great 2021.